Everyone's raving about the new film, The King's Speech, which tells the story of King George VI's attempts to overcome his stammer. The period drama is based on the monarch's friendship with the maverick Australian speech therapist Lionel... Oh, now, how do I say his surname, Matt?
Logue.
Lionel Logue, thank you, who helps the king to improve his speaking. This is something Matt Wilton from Ashcott is familiar with. He couldn't speak 10 years ago because his stammer was so bad. Now, the film only came out on Friday, but Matt saw it ages ago along with his celebrity friend Gareth Gates. We'll find out what he thought of it in a moment, but first, here's what BBC Somerset's film reviewer Simon Rose said about it.
Get out the flags and string up the bunting, for the glorious The King's Speech is a triumph. Colin Firth is the Duke of York, afflicted with a terrible stammer. Having tried everyone with the help of his wife, Helena Bonham Carter, he ends up seeing an unconventional Australian speech therapist, Lionel Logue, played by Geoffrey Rush.
Well, I believe when speaking with the prince, one waits for the prince to choose the topic.
Waiting for me to commence a conversation, one can wait rather a long wait.
Do you know any jokes?
Timing isn't my strong suit.
Joining me on the morning show is Matt Wilton, Regional Director of the McGuire Programme. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Emma.
Good to meet you again. Was the film as good as Simon Rose says it is?
Oh, definitely, yes, definitely. I think the good thing, obviously, from my point of view, I've got a stammering mentality, stammering mindset, so obviously it's gonna strike a chord with me. But I think for fluent speakers that are going to watch it, I think it's going to really show them what it feels like to stammer, you know, because what you can normally see is the physical side, the blocking, the contortions in the mouth, the articulators and your vocal cords in your neck. You can't see what it feels like, and I think Colin Firth really gets that across well.
How bad was the King's stammer as portrayed by Colin Firth? You know, with how severe was it? I haven't seen the film yet. Try not to ruin it for me, Matt.
No, he comes across. It comes across as if he has got a stammer that is obviously enough to stop him from wanting to be King of England, and he was always hiding from the fact that he had a stammer and he had to speak in public. And I think the best thing from my point of view is that the king has proven to us, the king has proven to other stammerers that, you know, whatever is in the way, you can still succeed in life. And if the king can do it, obviously with help of this so-called speech therapist Lionel Logue, then obviously anyone can. I've
read somewhere that he was considered to be quite controversial, this speech therapist.
Yeah, well, you're probably right in some ways. I think speech therapy has definitely evolved since then. Yeah. And a lot of the things that the king was taught to do, we wouldn't teach on the McGuire Programme. Things like swearing leading up to a word, or using a filler word to get the word out.
Really? You know? Swearing leading up to a word?
Yeah.
That's not going to work on radio this morning, is it?
Well, I won't be doing that. But I mean, there is other things that he was also taught as well, and they did mention about the diaphragm breathing slightly in the film, but it wasn't really a big focus. It was more using tricks to be able to get the word out, or try and sing the word out as well, to relax himself a bit more. So
the methods that you guys use on the McGuire Programme differ quite a lot to the film. There are a few similarities, but they differ.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. I mean, our approach is looking at the physical and the psychological side of the stammer, and we do a lot of focus on the costal side of getting the diaphragm to move smoothly, so what we call costal breathing. So your intercostal muscles, I'm practicing my old anatomy and physiology here, are the muscles in between your ribs, aren't they, that help you to breathe and expand your rib cage? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, there's two parts of the diaphragm that's made up. There's the crural side of it, where you naturally breathe, and there's the costal side, the muscle that you use when you sing. And so we use that. We use that muscle to speak with, and then it's not just that; it's the psychological side. So it's reducing the fear of stammering. We use non-avoidance tools and techniques to go for the sound, be assertive on each first sound of the word, and not hold back. Was Colin Firth the right man to play the king? He's got to be, hasn't he? Yeah. I mean, I just cannot believe how well he actually did with his speech and how well he came across. I believe that the writer of the film had a stammer or has a stammer, so he really helped him to get an idea of how to deliver the stammer. But for someone that doesn't stammer to portray that, to show that sort of fear that he showed, not just in the blocking but the tension in the face and just the whole emotion of it really comes out and really draws in the viewers.
Do you think the film will help people with stammers?
For sure, yeah, for sure. I think if there's any young children at school or at college or young adults that are working now and doing a job like I did when I was hiding in Tesco, stacking shelves, trying to avoid the public. Obviously, if they're watching, if they find out about the film and they watch the film, they will feel uncomfortable about it, because I didn't even want the word stammering mentioned because it affected me so much. But I think it will make them realise that they can move forward in life even with a stammer, and I think it will make the whole country look at stammering in a different way, and really raise awareness and the profile of stammering. Do we know, albeit roughly, because some people are hiding it, as you said, how many people there are in the country who have a stammer? I think it's about 1% of people with speech difficulties in some way. Yes, so that's
still a fair amount of people.
That's a fair amount of people in the UK, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. Now, here in Somerset, what have the McGuire Programme been doing? What have you got going on at the moment? Well, we've obviously just gone over the quiet Christmas period. We've got a course in Swindon coming up the 16th to the 20th of February. So not far up the road. I'm focusing on that. Yeah, 5.5 weeks time as well. So yeah, there's a lot of focus on that at the moment. Going to be another great course. We have normally about 15 to 20 new ones and about 80 graduates that come back on the course to keep working on their speech. So yeah. And it's 10 years ago that you dealt with your stammer, wasn't it? Is it 10 years? 98 I first joined. Oh, so 12, yeah. Or 13 coming up now. Oh, gee. Do you always have to work at it? Do you still have to work at it now? I think certain times, like when I was thinking about what to say this morning, oh well, I'm back on the radio again. You know, I was thinking, well, what can I say and how can I come across? And I did think, you know, I'm gonna have to be a little bit more focused on my speech. Yeah. And I think a lot of the graduates do feel like they need to work at it every day. They need to put in the effort to actually get somewhere and to feel comfortable. And it's all about challenging yourself, pushing out your comfort zones as much as you can so that you can speak in all situations and not just some of them, but any situation. So nothing holds you back, even though you've got a stammer. The film's been tipped for the Oscars already. Sorry, yeah. Do you think the film and the actors are going to do well come awards time? It does seem like it, doesn't it? Isn't there something like the British Academy Awards? They've picked up loads of awards there. And I think it's going to do. It's going to be great. I'm sure it'll be a great hit. I don't know what other films are going to be competing with it. Yeah, exactly. You know. The other thing I wanted to ask was, I want to go and see it partly because of Colin Firth, partly because I like this sort of history of the monarchy side of it as well. Yeah. I don't have a stammer, and I don't know anyone apart from you who has a stammer. Yeah. But I will still enjoy the film, will I? Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be gripped to the film. But it also helps to educate people like me about what people like you have to go through. Yeah, definitely. And I think that's only going to help someone that stammers, because their family and friends will start to understand just how difficult it can be for them in a situation where no one can see how difficult it can be, and no one can see if there's a word coming up they know they won't, or they feel if they won't be able to say, and they've got to avoid it. And for having people that try to understand that is going to really help a stammerer to move forward. I think your courses might start to get rather busy, Matt. Let's hope so. Matt Wilton, Regional Director of the McGuire Programme, coaches people to overcome their stammer.